episode.
Oh, remember, I've got to do it. Yeah, you'll have to start. Yeah.
Hello,
everybody. Dave and I are just making dinner arrangements. I've got a night in front of the computer because tonight, I mean, it's an exciting night. So the Women's Prize for Fiction long list will be being announced in 15 minutes, which is very exciting. Followed by, I'm doing the All About the Archers podcast tonight without Philippa because she's not very well. So it's a night in front of the computer, so I was just making plans for David to make lunch, but dinner, I mean. Welcome to everybody. Here we are, eagerly awaiting the Women's Prize for Fiction long list, which is going to be a list of 16 books written, bit of time hitting the back of my throat, 16 books written by female authors from the 1st of April 2023 and published between the 1st of April 2023 and the 31st of March 2024. There's a minimum word count. I don't know what that is. And no one really seems to know what that is because so many people put like shorter books on there. So I am so excited. I know a lot of you guys are excited. You messaged me on Instagram before Instagram broke. So yeah, I'm so excited. So Chris says, hello Lauren, feel like I'm preparing for battle. I ordered potential books from the library, saved up gift vouchers to buy books I don't have my Kindle content page open to check if I have the books. Amazing. Sarah, hello. Annika, hello. Chalky Cake, hello. Teresa says, hello. Lisa, Dan, hello. Rebecca says, what are the requirements for the Women's Prize? So as I've just said, it's got to be published in the English language, but in the UK, I think in the UK, between the 1st of April 2023 and the 31st of March 2024, and written by a female author. And it also, there is a minimum word count, but I don't know what the minimum word count is. Annika says, I've got my notepad, pen and library app ready. Notepad, these are my predictions, we'll go over those in a minute, and then I've got my library apps open. Sadly, I can't look at my audiobook library apps because they're on my phone, so I'll just have to hope that I can get those otherwise. Hello, Emily from Maine, hello, very excited, hi everyone. Jenny says, I've snuck out of work early for this, don't tell my boss. No one tell Jenny's boss where she is. What are my top 3 wishes for the long list? And Amy says, hello, so excited to be here. Jade says, hello, very excited, but feel like I'm not going to know any of the books. I'm so behind on my TBR. Jade, that's exciting when that happens. So obviously, like, I've made a list of 16 predictions that I'll read out. God, there's 100 of us. I'll read out my 16 predictions that I've made. But the best years are the years where I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff that I've not heard of because there's more authors to discover, more books to read about subjects you've probably not thought about and stuff like that. So yeah, I've made 16 predictions. I don't know how many. I'll read you out my predictions, and then I'll give you 3 that I'll be shocked if they're not on there, and then I'll give you 3 that I really hope are on there. So my predictions, there's 16 here. Dominoes by Phoebe McIntosh, The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue, Chrysalis by Anna Metcalf, Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwang, Julia by Sandra Newman, The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller, Night Bloom by Peace Adzomedi, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, The Fraud by Zadie Smith, Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang, Come and Get It by Kylie Reid, Pet by Catherine Chidgey, Bellies by Nicola Dinan, Family Law by Elizabeth Acevedo, Rosewater by Liv Little, and A Sign of Her Own by Sarah Marsh. So out of those 16, I am pretty confident that Julia by Sandra Newman will be on there. The Fraud by Zadie Smith will be on there. And if I'm going to go for confidence in one more, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, I'm pretty sure that's going to be on there as well. And Yellowface, so there we go, 4. And then 3 that I'd really like to see on there, The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue, just because I think it's really, really great book, great audio book, cleverly done. I've read it, and I feel like it's quite readable as well. And I like there to be readable stuff on here, because sometimes the stuff is not that readable. So I would really like Rachel Incident to be on there. I'd also really like Pet by Catherine Chidgey to be on there, because I hear wonderful things about this. So I'm really, really hoping. And oh, I tell you what, I'd like Night Bloom to be on there by Peace Adzomedi, because it's got cousin representation, and you'll all know that I've got a close relationship with my husband, and I would like there to be, yeah, some sort of like fun cousin representation on there. So that's what I think. I've also got a few books here which I haven't predicted, but I've got out from the library at the moment that might be on there. So The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey, Penance by Eliza Clark. I'm so happy I've got this because this is the large font version, which means I can read it without my glasses on. Oh Sister by Jodie Chapman, and Good Material by Dolly Alderton. So I've just got those. And there might be more on my shelves, but I'm sure if they do get announced, I'll realise. But they were just ones that I had out from the library at the moment. Oh, Natasha's in bed with the worst anxiety, nausea and chest pain. Hope you're okay, Natasha. Just think about books just for the next hour or so, and hopefully you'll feel a bit better. But I hope you're okay. Emily says, hi, there are about 12 eligible books that I'm excited to read. I hope at least 2 of them make the list. Great. Chris says, I just finished The Extinction of Irina Ray by Jennifer Croft. It was fantastic. She was on the long list last year, but this novel is so much better. I've just got a low glucose alarm going off on my phone, but I only have just had a crumpet, so that should be resolving itself, hopefully, before we all kick off. Yeah, I didn't love that Jennifer Croft book last year. I forgot what it was called. That was about sisters, wasn't it? Yeah, I didn't love that. Layla said, hi, Lauren. So excited. Rush home for my sisters. Amazing. Annika says, absolutely loved Chrysalis. One of the best books of 2023. That's very exciting to me. Rebecca, this will be a first year taking part. Sophie says, I feel like Zadie Smith always does well in these, hoping for the Rachel incident. Yeah, I feel like Zadie Smith will be long listed. Also, something else I mentioned is that if your book has been, so there's only, I think there's like 2 submissions per publisher, but if you have had an author long listed for the prize before, they automatically get a submission, so they don't count towards your submission. So people like Anne Patchett, like Zadie Smith, they will automatically be able to be, so they've got, I guess, a higher chance of being long listed. Paula Marie said, my husband just said this can't be cozy reading night again already. No, maybe I should do a cozy reading. Maybe when the shortlist is announced, maybe I should do a Women's Prize cozy reading night. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? Alice is here. Alice is beyond excited. Alice runs an amazing Women's Prize companion piece called the Women's Prize Plod Along, which I urge you to go and follow because they plod through the books and have a lovely time reading them. Alison says, no clue who's eligible, but I'm super excited for the list. Me too. Tracy says, hi. Alice again says, looking forward to finding out the ones that made it that I've never heard of. Me too, Alice. I really get excited about that. Bev says, on the train back from work, looking forward to the long list. Jacqueline said, when Instagram went down, my first thought was, oh no, how will I know what's on the long list? Jacqueline, that was one of my first thoughts as well. But then I'm relying on the website to show me that. So the video will go live in 7 minutes. So I've got the video open on another screen. It goes live in 6 minutes now, and I won't be able to hear it because I've turned the sound off. But what I'll do is how we've done it when we did it before and how we did it this year for the non-fiction. Yeah. Each of the judges will take a bit of time talking through the books. So I will be frantically scribbling them down. There'll be 16 on the long list, Rebecca. I'll be frantically scribbling them down, and then afterwards we'll go back in and talk about whether or not I predicted them, whether we've heard of them. We'll read a blurb. I'll be using this as an opportunity to renew them, to put a reservation on at the library if I don't already own them, and there'll be lots of that. There's normally some from smaller presses which don't often appear at libraries and stuff, so I've got to work out if I'm willing to chip into my budget for the month, which I don't get until the 24th of this month, so I won't be able to buy any books from there yet. But yeah, if that's what happens, I hope to read all of them. I hope to read all 16. I always hope to read all 16. And that's always a lovely challenge. So hopefully I own at least one, or I've got out from the library at least one that's been put on the long list. So that means I can start that tonight, which is really, really exciting. There we go. Jenny says, everyone talking about the list of suspicious things is hilarious to me because it's rare for someone to spell Jenny that way. So when people mention the author, I think it's me. Is it you, Jenny? Erin says, oh my God, yes, love the idea of a Women's Prize cozy reading night. Rebecca says, how many books are there on the long list? There's 16. Hyper Connoisseur, so excited. Erin said, ready to add even more books to my TBR. Jackie says, evening all, how can 8 minutes feel so long? And Jacqueline says, book, journal and pen at the ready. Beth says, how many did you manage to read of the long list in the last few years before the final? I don't know, Beth. Last year was a bit of a mad one because David's dad had a cardiac arrest literally like 2 days before the long list came out. So the first few weeks of that were a bit mad in terms of reading. He's ever so well now, by the way. So yeah, so I don't feel like last year was the best year I've had of reading them all, but I couldn't give you stats. I always just set out to read all of them. Does anybody else here have plans to read the entire long list, or are you more keen to wait for the short list and would like to know? 4 minutes, guys. Daphne's here as well. She's having a bit of my water. She loves to drink out of her mummy's water. I'll just go over my predictions one more time. Dominoes by Phoebe McIntosh, The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue, Chrysalis by Anna Metcalf, Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kwang, Julia by Sandra Newman, The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller, Night Bloom by Peace Adzo Mehdi, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, The Fraud by Zadie Smith, Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang, Come and Get It by Kylie Reid, Pet by Catherine Chidgey, Bellies by Nicola Dinan, Family Law by Elizabeth Acevedo, Rosewater by Liv Little, and A Sign of Her Own by Sarah Marsh. Nikki says, I set the alarm for this so I wouldn't forget. Currently cross-stitching, my new hobby because of you. I've got a cross-stitching husband over there. He's watching Modern Family and cross-stitching. Alison said, I only read the books I'm interested in. Absolutely. Alice says, I was telling myself I won't read them all, but I already want to read them all. Tracy says, yeah, long list for me. Beth says, I attempted to read the book a long list and got through about half, but the Women's Prize tends to be easier to get through, I think. Yeah, I agree as well. The Connoisseur says, I'm hoping to read, definitely no. I'm hoping to read the whole long list. Also hoping there's some Irish authors there so I can read those for the Irish Readathon as well. Yeah, hopefully. And if The Rachel Incident is long listed, then that's their book that they're reading. So that'll be perfect. Lisa says, I vote yes for a Women's Prize Cody Reader Night. Kate says, hi everyone, it's like Christmas again. Can't wait to hear the list. I know, it's the most wonderful time of the reading year. Shell says, hello, I'm really excited for this announcement. I'm hoping to attack about 5 off the long list with the hope that my ones make the short list. Dan says, you think working in a bookshop we'd know the long list, but nope, every year there's someone where we're all like, where has this come from? Maybe that reflects more on us being bad at our job. No, I don't think so. Something else I love about this is that they focus on smaller presses and books that don't ordinarily make it to independent bookshops, mainstream bookshops, into libraries. It's great. And Alison says he's so focused. Jockey Cake says, I like to do a short list from the long list. I read what I think will be shortlisted. I make it into a bit of a game. And Jacqueline's saying, hi, David. He's got his headphones on, so he can't listen. It's 182 of us, guys, all excited to find out the long list. How many minutes have we got left now? 2 minutes! Bam! I'm so excited. I'm also double excited because Laura Dockrell's one of the judges this year. And you'll know that I loved her book, Big Bones. But also, I've loved other bits of her work as well, including a book which is called Angry Cookie. I really, really love that picture book. I've bought that for many a child in my life. And The Lipstick is also another very good book by picture book by Laura Dockrell. So yeah, I'm excited that she's on there as well because I follow her on Instagram and I feel like a lot of her interests align. So I'm hoping that there'll be some stuff on there that I enjoy that she also has enjoyed. Alison saying, I'm obsessed with the Cazalet Chronicles. Aren't we all? Right, 60 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to flip on over now to the actual Women's Prize for Fiction page. As I said, I haven't got the sound on, so I won't be able to hear it, but I'm going to just list them and then we'll go through and talk about them. So I won't be able to see your comments for a bit. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going over to the actual page as well. So yeah, it's going to go live in 60 seconds. Lovely. Oh, Lee's in the UK on holiday from Australia, so it's live for the UK live for the first time. Right, okay, I'm over on the other page now, so I can't see your comments. But as I said, I'll write them all down frantically, and then we'll go back. The actual Women's Prize page, I'm sure we'll have them in a bit more of a order and we can work through. And I absolutely have to have this wrapped up by 7 o'clock because I've got to record the All About the Archers podcast as well. Right, it's just saying premiere will begin shortly. Also, I've got my Girl Power mug for Women's Prize. Saying we'll begin shortly. Oh my God, I wonder how many I've got right. In a way, it would be nice to have none right because then that's like 16 books. But it would also be nice to have read at least one from the list, and it would be nice to have here at least one from the list so that I can read that. Or I would be honest, it would be nice to have here to have 2 on the list because the reservations at the library are going to take a while to get in and stuff. So, and I'm not going to be first on a lot of them, I don't think. Premiere will begin shortly. Oh God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've been so excited all day. David thinks it's very cute how excited I am. I'm also excited to go back and watch Lena's video. So Lena's got a video going live at 6, where she talks about, she unboxes the long list. So if I get chance, we're going live. Oh, we got 2-minute countdown. We got a 2-minute countdown. I'll just head back to my page to have a look. Very excited for this. I've got so many screens going on. I'm excited to be here for the live. The Women's Prize for Fiction is my favourite time of the year. Absolutely. Jacqueline says, will we all do a countdown? We're on the 2-minute countdown now. Katrina says, can't wait. I hope I've read some as well as I was 16 to read. Better than the Oscars. Absolutely. And what I will also find out is when the shortlist is announced, put a question mark here, and then based on how many I've got, I need to work out how many books of these books I need to read, how many days it needs to take me to read each of these books, or how long I can spend on each of these books when I've worked out how many I need to read before the shortlist comes out. Although sometimes exciting, it's happened for me before where I haven't read all of the shortlist and I haven't read all of the long list, and then when the shortlist comes out, you've got like a, look, now this is what you've really got to read. So sometimes that's quite exciting as well. So, but we'll make a good go of it. And like I said, I hope I've read at least one, and I hope I've got at least 2 here. I really hope Pet, because I'd like to start Pet tonight. Oh, you've got butterflies. Me too, connoisseur. I'm so excited. Right, we're down to the 1-minute countdown. 1-minute countdown. Molly says, I've never followed the list before, but you've inspired me to through your coverage of it each year. Oh, it's very exciting. I remember the first time I ever found out about it, I was watching Sunday Brunch, which is a TV programme over here in the UK. And they had Grace Dent on it because Grace Dent was one of the judges that year. And I remember that one of the books that was they were talking about the shortlist, and it was The Bees by Leyline Paul. And I remember them having those 6 books all lined up and me being like, oh my God, this is exciting. And then I read The Bees by Leyline Paul, and then I read another one by Camilla Shamsi, and I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, this isn't for me, this prize. And now this prize is so exciting to me, and I follow it every year, and I get so excited for it. Right, we're down to 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds! Hi, Jennifer. Right, okay. Are you finding me cute? Because I'm so excited. I'm so excited!
Should do a countdown.
Get out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Duffy's come running in.
Moving string music. Hello, Monica Ali. She's the chair of the 2024 Women's Prize for Fiction. And she's delighted to be able to share with us the 16 books that we've chosen. Go away, Minnie. Not Minnie, Daphne. We've got such a huge amount of talent on display. And there's a diverse range of topics. And can't wait for you to get stuck into the reading. Right, come on. Oh, my God. I don't think I've got any of them right. Right, the first one is A Trace of Sun by Pam Williams. Of Sun by Pam Williams. I didn't recognise any of those there. Restless Dolly Maunder is the next one by Kate Grenville. Oh my God, I haven't heard of any of these yet. Kate Grenville. Okay. River East, River West by Aubrey Ray Lascure. I remember that one from Anna and Eric's predictions video. Aubrey. Western Lane. I've got a reservation on that at the library by Chetna Maru. I think that's about squash. I think that's about playing squash, if I remember rightly. The Blue Beautiful World by Karen Lord. So far, don't own any of these. The Maiden by Kate Foster. I think I've literally just bloody taken this back to the library. Blue Beautiful World. The Wren by Anne Enright, which is an Irish author, guys. So if anyone's taking part in the Irish readathon, they can do that. Oh, God, I don't own any of these so far. This is when I wish I had a Kindle. In Defence of the Act by Effie Block, I think it says. Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan. That's another Irish author, guys, for people who are following these. I haven't got any of these. Human Failings. And Then She Fell by Alicia Elliott. I can't believe this. I don't own any of these. I really didn't recognise any of them. Hangman by Maya Binyam. Soldier Sailor, another one by an Irish author. I think I've got a reservation on that as well, by Claire Kilroy. Night Bloom! Yeah, I got one right! By Peace Adzomedi. Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad. I think I might have a reservation on that as well. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. Brotherless Night. David, I haven't got one of these. I was so certain I'd be able to start one tonight. Right, yeah. So that's it. I do not have one of those in my possession. Right, okay, I'm going to come off the video now and I'm going to go onto the website so we can read some blurbs together. All of these books I've got here are useless to me. They are useless to me. I own none of them. Does anybody there have any of those books in their possession that they are able to start tonight? David, I haven't got any of them. There's 16 books. I got one prediction.
You're a fraud.
I got one prediction of Night Bloom by Peace Adzomedi, but I didn't get any of the others.
Have you read any of the others though?
No, I've not read any of
I
them.
do feel like all of these awards,
I've
all
not
these
read one.
nominations, you never have read any of these books.
No, well, nothing for the Women's Prize. Normally I've read like 3 or 4.
I don't think you read any.
I don't read anything. I don't read anything at all. But I have not read one of these books, and I predicted one. And I don't have one in my possession, which feels a bit sad to me, actually. Although, to be honest, I've got quite a big night ahead of me. But I don't know how I'm going to get hold of any of these in the next bit. Oh, the only annoying thing is that I had The Maiden and I gave it back to the library because somebody else had a reservation on it. So yeah, I didn't even consider The Maiden. But that's exciting. I'm already excited about that one because it's a historical fiction. Right, let's have a look. So what do people say? Right, a lot of people say not heard of many of these. Here we go. Alison said, I only recognise The Wren. I don't think the one I really wanted to be on the long list is on the long list. Katrina says, I've read one. Angela says, I don't know any of these, but that's actually exciting. It is exciting. Considering I go into bookshops every day, I only recognise one of these books, which is quite an achievement, says Natalie. I've not heard of any of them, but I've not read any of them, but I've heard of 2. Alison says no. Nikki says, I've not heard of any of these. Prime says no. Chantel says no. Belle's book says, I just got Night Bloom out of the library. Amazing. Bev said, I've only read one, Ordinary Human Failings. Erin says, I have one on Kindle. I wish I had a Kindle. Andrea says, I have Night Bloom on my Kindle. Beth says, I've got Night Bloom out from the library on audio right now, but that's it. Teresa says, I have Western Lane on audio. Bev says, I have The Wren, which I'll be starting right away. Katrina says, yes, Soldier, Sailor and Trickster I can start. Dan says, I finished Western Lane 2 days ago. Jane says, yes, I'm so excited to see The Maiden, which is on my shelf, and I currently have Ordinary Human Failings from the library. Amazing. Val says, just about to order Enter Ghost. Annika says, I hated Western Lane. I read it last year. Yes, it is about squash. I thought it was about squash. Stacey Stanley says, I've read Western Lane already and I have Enter Ghost and Soldier Sailor. Teresa said, I put a couple of them on hold at my library based on people's predictions. Jane says, I've read The Wren, not got any of the others. Catherine says, I'm amazed I've read 3. I'm so pleased to see Soldier Sailor and Ordinary Human Failings on there. Both are fabulous. Lee says, yay for Kate Grenville. Grenville, haven't read any of these, but excited for a couple at least. Jennifer says, I don't have any of them. I did predict The Wren though. Michelle says, I started Enter Ghost on Sunday and I'm excited about The Maiden and I have Soldier Sailor from the library. Rebecca said, I'll probably be downloading them on Kindle. I haven't heard of any of these. Jacqueline says, I've read both The Wren and Ordinary Human Failings and I'm currently listening to Soldier Sailor. Loads of books I've never heard of. Cheryl said, I predicted Soldier Sailor and Western Lane. I haven't heard of any of the others at all. Exciting to read books that aren't all hype. Absolutely. The fact that there's none on there that I would, that I feel like have been in much circulation, particularly on BookTube, that's very exciting. Like, none of those I'm feeling like I've seen, like, as a bestseller or anything like that. Emily said, I read Western Lane last year and loved it. I've read Alicia Elliott's essays, looking forward to Ordinary Human Failings, but none of my 12 hopes made it. But Connoisseur said, I guess The Wren and Soldier Sailor. Also, I believe Western Lane by Chetna Maru was on the Booker Prize long list. Tori is really excited for Karen Lord. Beth says, I own Night Bloom and read Western Lane. Thank you, Booker. Wasn't a fan of Western Lane. Chantel says, just grabbed Night Bloom from Libby. Elsa said, I got Ordinary Human Failings today from the library for the Irish Readathon. That was lucky. The Wren was my first read of 2024. Really enjoyed it. Chris says, so excited for Western Lane. Loved it. Did not care for The Hangman. I have all of these books except for 2. Amazing. Right, okay, so let's go to the website now then. And Women's Prize for Fiction. And see if because they normally put blurbs up. Oh, error establishing a database connection, so maybe not. Women's Prize for Fiction. Let's go back on there. If they've got blurbs on there. If not, we'll just have to blurb them ourselves, guys. I'll get Waterstones ready and primed. Right, I need to have a look. First of all, if you'll just indulge me a bit of library admin, I'm just going to have a look and see what of these I've got a reservation on already, because I might find that I've got a reservation on some of these. Right, I've got a reservation on Western Lane, so that can have a little tick. I'm first of 2 in the line for that. That's that on that one, but then there is another library. Foster, Stormy Maid, Ordinary Human Failings. I've got a reservation on that as well. Well done, pass, Lauren. That's by Megan Nolan, isn't it? I was scribbling away so frantically I didn't get everyone's. So that's... No, Bellies, Come and Get It. No, Codependent, Winter Animals, Memory Piece. No, so I've got 2 reservations on, so I need to make some more reservations. Right, okay, yeah, so there's no... The blurbs aren't here, but that's fine. We can do our own blurbs. So I'm going to be sort of browsing between the comments and the Waterstones website and my library pages. I'm going to try and get some audiobooks. I've paused my Audible. Audible feels like the quickest way to get my hands on some of these books, so I might get me Audible back up just to, unless there's any available on my I can't believe I don't own any of them. I don't think this has ever happened, that I don't have any of them in my possession. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I really thought Pet was going to be on there as well. Right, okay, A Trace of Sun. Let's see. Let's read the blurb for that. We're going in, guys. We're going in. And like I said, I've got to have this finished by 7 because I've got all about the Archers podcast to do. Right, A Trace of Sun by Pam Williams. Has anyone read this? Anyone interested? Excited? Let's have a look. Following a boy who stays behind in the Caribbean as his parents leave for England in search of a better future for them all, A Trace of Sun is a beautiful, emotionally searing saga of separation, sacrifice and family. Don't go, mammy, please. Stuttered words fill her ears, send frissions of guilt through her as she bent over him, held him to her thumping chest, tears sliding from her face to his. Rafe is left behind in Grenada when his mum, Scylla, follows her husband to England in search of a better life. When they are finally reunited 7 years later, they are strangers, and the emotional impact of the separation leads to events that rip their family apart. As they try to move forward with their lives, his mother's secret will make Rafe question all he's ever known who he is. A Trace of Sun is in part inspired by the author's own family experiences. Right. Has anyone read A Trace of Sun? Has anyone heard of A Trace of Sun? I'm going to try and get it out from the library. Some of these might not even be out yet, though. Is this out? Yeah, it came out the 1st of March, so it's literally brand new. No, they haven't got it in that library. I've got a whole host of libraries, guys. A Trace of Sun. Have they got it at my other library? Yes, place reservation. Thank you. This is my library that cost me £1 a reservation, but I'm absolutely pleased to do that. And the author earns money, and I'm saving money because it's only cost me £1. I'm number 1 on that list, so by the time that comes through. So let's have a look. Has anyone read A Trace of Sun? We're talking about A Trace of Sun. So has anyone read any of these? It doesn't look about like it. Green Bitterfly said, I thought Zadie Smith or Linda Grant would be on the long list. Jennifer Widdicombe says, I read an arc last year of The Maiden. The only one I predicted was Enter Ghost. Bethany says, have you read any of the non-fiction list yet? I'm currently reading All That She Carried. I had to take All That She Carried back to the library today because it was out of... Somebody else needed it and I'd only read half of it, so that might be gone forever now. So has anyone read A Trace of Sun? So I've just put a reservation on it. So feeling quite pleased with myself about that. We'll move on to the next one, which is Restless Dolly Maunder, one that I haven't heard of. Restless Dolly Maunder by Kate Grenville. Kate Grenville is definitely an author that I've heard of before. What other books has Kate Grenville done? Doesn't say. But this was out on the 2nd of November. And it says, The best-selling author of The Secret River, I think that's what I've heard of, delivers another enthralling historical novel that follows the inspiring titular heroine determined to shape her destiny in 19th century New South Wales. Dolly Maunder is born at the end of the 19th century, where society's long-locked doors are just beginning to creak ajar for determined women. Growing up in a poor farming family in rural New South Wales, Dolly spends her life doggedly pushing at those doors. A husband and 2 children do not deter her from searching for love and independence. Restless Dolly Maunder is a subversive, triumphant tale of a pioneering woman working her way through a world of limits and obstacles, who is able, despite the cost, to make a life she could call her own. Oh, great. Right, okay. Library number 1. Restless Dolly Maunder. Does that mean they've got it? Does that mean they've got it? Yay! 1 reservation. There's 1 copy. Where am I in the list for that? First! That's good. Right, okay, that's good. So, has anyone read Restless Dolly Maunder? I don't know that nobody's mentioned that they've read A Trace of Sun. So here we go. Right, okay, on to the next one, which is River East, River West. So this one I had heard of just because it had been mentioned. I think I saw Anna and Eric talking about it. They mentioned it, that one of them predicted it. I can't remember who it was. By Aube Ray Lescure. This was published this year on the 25th of January. And it says here, at once an intimate family saga and a kaleidoscopic exploration of capitalism and East-West relations, Lescure's nuanced account of the warring mother and daughter and the rich landlord at the centre of their dispute makes for powerful and engaging reading. A mesmerising reversal of the East-West immigrant narrative set against China's economic boom, River East, River West is a deeply moving exploration of race, identity and family, of capitalism's false promise and private dreams. Shanghai, 2007, feeling betrayed by her American mother's engagement to their rich landlord Lu Fang, 14-year-old Alva begins plotting her escape. But the exclusive American school, a potential ticket out, is not what she imagined. Qingdao, 1985. God, I love a dual timeline. Newlywed Lu Fang works as a lowly shipping clerk. Though he aspires to a bright future, he is one of the many casualties of harsh political reforms. Then China opens up to foreigners and capital, and Lu Fang meets a woman who makes him question what he should settle for. Great. Right, okay. Published by Duckworth Books, which isn't a publisher I've heard of. Let's have a look if it's at my library. River East, River West. It doesn't look like it's at my first library. No, right. Next library. River East, River West. No. So that one I either need to buy, or I can check my library apps for audio to see if it's on there, but cannot get my hands on River East, River West. I'll just check back in on the comments. Jennifer says, I've only heard of this from Eric's video too, so that's River East, River West. Cool, right, okay, so can't get my hands on that. Western Lane by Chetna Maru. I've already got a reservation on that, so I'm feeling pleased about that. And as a few of us have mentioned, it's about squash. And it's also... Oh, it's out in paperback as well. I think I'm getting the hardback, but it's out in paperback. This was published on the 11th of May last year, and it was also longlisted for the Booker as well. So let's have a look. It was also longlisted for the William Hill Sports Book of the Year, 2023. A beautiful and moving first novel about grief, sisterhood, and a teenage girl's struggle to transcend herself. 11-year-old Gopi has been playing squash since she was old enough to hold a racket. When her mother dies, her father enlists her in a quietly brutal training regimen, and the game becomes her world. Slowly she grows apart from her sisters. Her life is reduced to the sport, guided by its rhythms, the serve, the volley, the drive, the shot, and its echo. But on the court she's not alone. She's with her pa. She's with Jed, a 13-year-old boy with his own formidable talent. She's with the players who have come before her. She is in awe. An indelible coming-of-age story, Chetna Maru's first novel, captures the ordinary and annihilates it with beauty. Western Lane is a valentine to innocence, to the closeness of sisterhood, to the strange ways we come to know ourselves and each other. There we go. So yes, I've got a reservation on that. But a few of you guys had read Western Lane. And Alison's saying only 160 pages. Is that Western Lane? Does it say that on there? 176 pages, so a shorter one. Suzanne said, hello gutted, I've missed the beginning of this after looking forward to it all day. You can go back and catch it, babes. You can go back and catch it. Belle said, I've read Western Lane. It was okay. The squash content bored me though. David, there's a book on the long list that's about... Oh.
Let me pause, because I can't hear.
There's a book on the long list that's all about squash. The game.
Cool.
I don't know, wasn't expecting it.
No.
There we go. Right, okay, so the next one is The Blue Beautiful World. I didn't even get the bloody author down for this because it was such a long title. The Blue Beautiful World by Karen Lord. Let's write that down there. So this came out, again, last year, 31st of August last year. It looks a bit sci-fi-y. Humanity prepares to make first contact with alien civilizations just as their unlikely secret weapon sets to go rogue in this inventive and perceptive slice of science fiction. Wow. The world is changing and humanity must change with it. Rising seas and soaring temperatures have radically transformed the face of Earth. Meanwhile, Earth is being observed from afar by other civilizations and now they're ready to make contact. Vying to prepare humanity for first contact are a group of dreamers and changemakers, including Peter Hendricks, the genius inventor behind the most advanced VR tech, Carissa, a beloved celebrity icon with a passion for humanitarian work, and Kanoa, a member of a global council of young people drafted to reimagine the relationship between humankind and alien societies. And they may have an unexpected secret weapon. Owen, a pop megastar whose ability to connect with his adoring fans is more than charisma. His hidden talent could be the key to uniting Earth as it looks towards the stars. This sounds wild. But Owen's abilities are so unique that no one can control him and so seductive that he cannot help but use them. Can he transcend his human limitations and find the freedom he has always dreamed of? Or is he doomed to become the dictator of his nightmares? This sounds wild. It's 256 pages. Let's have a look at my libraries. Has anyone read The Blue Beautiful World? If you're a sci-fi fan, you must be excited. Rarely do these sort of books appear. Like, genre fiction doesn't really make it that much on here. So that's onto short lists, long lists. No, so not in that library, but let's have a look. The Blue Beautiful World doesn't look like it's in here either. So I might have to, so that one might be an audio book as well. I need to look at my audio. Oh no, it is there. It is there. Okay, one copy, two reservations already. So she's going in third. She's going in third on one copy. Will she get it before the long list? Who knows? Before the short list is announced. Right, okay. Anyone here? Natasha said never read it, but it sounds very Carrie Sotto. That's the Western Lane about squash. Chris says Western Lane made the book a shortlist. I was hoping it would win. A brilliant book about grief. Oh, good. Alison says The Beautiful World. Very low Goodreads weighting. Weird. Hermione Forever says, hi, Lauren and everyone. Hi. Right, okay, so we're on to the next one, which was The Maiden, which I know is in one of my libraries because I've just had to send it back. So hopefully it's not... Oh, by Kate Foster. This is out in paperback as well. Kate Foster. Oh, so the paperback has just come out. So the other one must have come out last year. So it says here, inspired by real-life events, Foster's electrifying 17th century set Whodunit revolves around a respectable noblewoman accused of the shocking murder of her lover. Inspired by a real-life case, Kate Foster's The Maiden is a remarkable story with a feminist revisionist twist, giving a voice to women otherwise silenced by history. Winner of the Bloody Scotland Pitch Perfect Award and the Bloody Scotland Crime Debut of the Year. In the end, it did not matter what I said at my trial. No one believed me. Edinburgh, October 1679. Lady Christian is arrested and charged with the murder of her lover, James Forrester. News of the imprisonment and subsequent trial is splashed across the broadsides, with headlines that leave little room for doubt. Adulterous, whore, murderess. Only a year before, Lady Christian was newly married, leading a life of privilege and respectability. So what led her to risk everything for an affair? And does that make her guilty of murder? She wasn't the only woman in Forrester's life, and certainly not the only one who might have had cause to wish him dead. Let's have a look. The Maiden. Number 1 library. Has anyone read The Maiden? That's one that I feel like I've seen. I don't know. Maybe someone read it and it was their favourite book of the year. Oh no, it's not at that library. Annoyingly. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, one reservation. Another reservation on that one. Yeah, again, let's see how many I'm in the queue for. I know I had to give it back, so somebody at least. Okay, so I'm number 1 in for The Maiden. Right, has anyone read The Maiden? Jennifer said, annoyingly, I think I gave my arc to my neighbour as I didn't love it. Not bad, but just not my cup of tea. Cool, I guess you're talking about The Maiden. Next up, we've got The Wren by Anne Enright. This is another one that I saw on Anna and Eric's videos, and maybe somebody else's. This was published last year, 31st of August, by Anne M. Wright, Irish author. So if you're taking part in the Irish Readathon, ready to go. Shortlisted for the Fiction Writers' Prize in 2024, Carmel had been alone all her life. The baby knew this. They looked at each other and all of time was there. The baby knew how vast her mother's loneliness had been. Nell, funny, brave and so much loved, is a young woman with an adventure on her mind. As she sets out into the world, she finds her family history hard to escape. For her mother Carmel, Nell's leaving home opens a space in her heart where the turmoil of a lifetime begins to churn. And across the generation falls the long shadow of Carmel's famous father, an Irish poet of beautiful words and brutal actions. This is a meditation on love, spiritual, romantic, darkly sexual or genetic, a generational saga that traces the inheritance not just of trauma but also of wonder. It's a testament to the glorious resilience of women in the face of promises false and true. Above all, it's an exploration of love between mother and daughter, sometimes fierce, often painful, but always transcendent. And that's 288 pages. I didn't mention how much the other one was. The Wren, from library number 1. Anyone read The Wren? And how did you find it? Alice says, I got The Wren and Soldier Sailor right in my predictions. Well done, Alice. I got 1 right, so you're beating me. The Wren. No, that's not on there, so let's have a look at the other library. The Wren is on there. We'll put a reservation on that when we get there. Oh no, they've only got, oh no, they have got it there. 11 copies, 5 reserves. Oh no, that's the right way round, isn't it? So that's that one. I'm going to have to wait a little bit to get my first one going, aren't I? Not going to any bookshops tomorrow. Well, I've got a book voucher, so I could do. Right, next up is In Defence of the Act. Oh, does anyone else say they read The Wren? What's the TM says, love your library song. Hi Amber, hope you're well too. Tracy said, I'm number 17 on the library reservation list for the Wren. You might get it in time for the for the Women's Prize announcement next year. Natasha said, I've read The Actress by Anne M. Wright and didn't enjoy it. I'm the same, Natasha. I listened to the audio of it a couple of years ago. I think it was longlisted for the Women's Prize then. Love the story of the cover though. Oh, the cover of the Wren. Right. Let's have a look for the next one. I didn't get the author of the next one, but this is In Defence of the Act. In Defence of the Act. I'm sure that's what it's called. Yeah, by Effie Black. Not heard of this one. Great front cover. Published last July, 13th of July. Says here, edgy and intelligent and courageous, In Defence of the Act tackles the contentious topic of suicide through a narrator whose set views on the subject are suddenly called starkly into question. Are we more like a coffee bean, a carrot or an egg? What happens to us when we are boiled in the trials and tribulations of life? Jessica Miller is fascinated by the somewhat perplexing tendencies of humans to end their own lives, but she secretly believes that such acts may not be that bad after all, or at least she did. Jessica is coming to terms with her own relationships and reflecting on what it means to be queer when a single event throws everything she once believed into doubt. Can she still defend the act? And this is published by Epoch Press, and it doesn't have the amount of pages that are in it, so we do not know. In Defence of the Act. Has anyone read In Defence of the Act? Has anyone heard of it? Dan says, trying desperately to scan my proofs to see if I have any. What's the TM says, only just got 10 books this afternoon. I'm sure they'll wonder what planet I'm on. 182 pages. Thank you, Alison, for In Defence of the Act. Right, not at that library. Is it at my other library of the Act? What's that scratching going on over there? Dappy's scratching. Right, it's not at that library either. So that's 1, 2, 3 I haven't been able to get hold of next. Yeah. Anybody else read or heard of In Defence of the Act? Nobody's mentioned it. What's the deal? Says Lauren, you need another library. I've got 2 libraries. I mean, I don't know where I'll get another library from. Right, the next one is Ordinary Human Failings. Already got a reservation on at the library for this one, so that's good. Ordinary Human Failings. This is by Megan Dolan, and I have read a book of hers before. Oh, I put Ordinary Human Feelings. That's why it's not coming up, but it's called Failings. I have read, I can't think what it's called, but it is, it was about a woman moving to Hong Kong. I can't think what it's called. Something about an apple? No, I don't think so. Right, okay. So this is set in 1990s London. Already interesting. This searing novel from the acclaimed author of Acts of Desperation. No, I don't think that is the one I've read. Follows a reporter who begins to investigate an Irish family implicated in an atrocious crime. Irish author as well. When we look beyond the headlines, everyone has a story to tell. It's 1990 in London and Tom Hargraves has it all. A burgeoning career as a reporter, fierce ambition and a brisk disregard for the peasants, ordinary people, his readers, easy tabloid fodder. His star looks set to rise when he stumbles across a scoop, a dead child on a London estate. Grieving parents loved across the neighbourhood and the finger of suspicion pointing at one reclusive family of Irish immigrants and bad apples, the Greens. At their heart sits Carmel, beautiful, otherworldly, broken, and once destined for a future beyond her circumstance until life and love got in her way. Crushed by failure and surrounded by disappointment, there's nowhere for her to go and no chance of escape. Now with the police closing in on a suspect and the tabloids hunting their monster, she must confront the secrets and silences that have trapped her family for so many generations. Well, there we go. As I said, I've already got a reservation on that, so I'm feeling smug as about that, so that's good. What's the tea? Emma says there's no limit to the amount of libraries. Oh, thank you, Katie. I haven't read anything by Megan Nolan. I've read Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. You're right, thank you. Oh, God, that's bad of me, getting my Irish authors mixed up. But thank you, Katie, for correcting me. Has anyone read Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Dolan? I think I own Acts of Desperation, though. I'm sure I do, because I think I got it out, maybe thinking about reading it for the Irish Readathon. Well, there we go. So that's that. Right, the next one was And Then She Fell, and I didn't get... We're doing good for time, by the way. And Then She Fell, by Alicia Elliott. Another one not heard of, not familiar with the cover. This came out in September last year, 28th of September. It says here, mining Native American myth to forge a darkly dreamlike atmosphere, this disturbing and surreal novel from the author of A Mind Spread Out on the Ground finds seemingly contented Alice begin to question her new surroundings. On the surface, Alice is exactly where she should be in life. She's just given birth to a beautiful baby girl, her ever-charming husband, an academic whose area of study is conveniently her own Mohawk culture, is nothing but supportive, and they've moved into a home in a wealthy neighbourhood. But strange things have started happening. Alice finds herself hearing voices she can't explain and speaking with things that she should not be talking back to her, all while her neighbour's passive aggression begins to morph into something far more threatening. Told in Alice's raw and darkly funny voice and infused with Native American myth and legend, And Then She Fell is a wild, fierce novel, which is 368 pages, published by Atlantic Books. Let's see if either of the libraries have it. And Then She Fell, this library. Unless there's lots of crime novels called And Then She Fell. Yeah, cool, but that is not the book. That's got like a lady with sort of Pride and Prejudice hair. Yeah, so that's not in that library, but let's have a look and see if it's in the other library. And Then She Fell. But again, could be that other book called And Then She Fell. Has anyone read And Then She Fell or heard of And Then She Fell? No, they don't have it either. Okay, so that's another one. That's fine. So that's 4 that aren't in my libraries. Next one is Hangman. And I only got the first... Oh, let's have a look, see if anyone's read... Natasha said, no, the actress, the little girl on the cover was Carrie Fisher and her mother, Debbie Reynolds. Oh, okay. Interesting. Let's have a look. Hangman by Maya Binyam. Not heard of this one either, but really like the cover. This came out on the 3rd of August last year. A pin-sharp tragicomedy about homecoming and loss, peopled by unforgettable characters. Binyam's Defy Odyssey through sub-Saharan Africa is a masterful disquisition on black exile and refuge. I don't know what disquisition means. A man returns home to sub-Saharan Africa after 26 years living in the exile in America. When he arrives, he finds that he doesn't recognise the country or anyone in it. Thankfully, someone at the airport knows him, a man who calls him brother. As they travel to this man's house, the purpose of his visit comes into focus. He is here to find his real brother, who is dying. Hangman is a tragicomic journey through homecoming and loss. It's a hilarious and twisted odyssey. That worries me. I don't often find books hilarious. Peopled by phantoms and tricksters, aid workers and taxi driver, the relatives and riddles that lead this man along a circuitous path. Circuit. I'm not going to be able to say that. Circuitous? path towards the truth. This is a strangely honest story of one man's search for refuge in this world and the one that lies beyond it. An existential journey, a tragic farce, a slapstick tragedy. Hangman is the shockingly original debut novel about exile, diaspora, and the search for black refuge from a thrilling new literary voice. Published by Pushkin Press, 208 pages. I don't like the words slapstick and tragicomedy. I don't know if it's going to be for me, but hey, she's putting a reservation on it if it's about Hangman. Let's see if it is about. Have a little drink. We're doing very well. I've got 25 minutes before I've got to disappear. No, not in the first library. Let's have a look and see if it's in the second library. Imagine again, there's thousands of books called Hangman. Oh, they've got it though. 1 copy, 1 reserve. Someone else watching this is putting on reservations at Kent Library. Then we're going to be in contention for these books. Oh, no, not that one. Didn't manage to get that. That's that one. Kent. Right, Soldier Sailor. This is one that I thought I had a reservation on, but I don't. This is another one by an Irish author. Really thought I'd put a reservation on this, but obviously not. Let's have a look. Okay, so this came out in May last year. A formidable return to fiction from the best-selling author of Devil You Know, Soldier Sailor is a compelling, scorching exploration of motherhood, identity and autonomy. Well, Sailor, here we are once more, you and me in one another's arms. The earth rotates between us and all is well for now. In her first novel for over a decade, Claire Kilroy takes us deep into the early days of motherhood. Exploring the clash of fierce love for a new life with a seismic change in identity, she vividly realises the raw, tumultuous emotions of a new mother as her marriage strains and she struggles with questions of love, autonomy and creativity. As she smiles at her baby Sailor while mentally composing her own suicide note, it's the second book about suicide, an old friend makes a welcome return, but can he really offer a lifeline to the woman she used to be? And that's published by Faber and Faber and is 256 pages long. Soldier Sailor, can she get a reservation on it? Claire Kilroy. Yep, she can. 10 copies, 2 reservations. I'm not going to fall for it here and put one on the... I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not, because they've put there, and I recognise that from looking at the Waterstones, that is the paperback. Now, obviously, I'd always prefer a paperback, but I know they won't have been ordered yet. So we're going to put it on the hardback. I'd always prefer a paperback. And if I was purchasing, I'd always purchase the paperback. Right, there we go. We put that on there. Reservation on that one. Lovely. Next one is Night Bloom, which this is the one I'm excited about. And this is the only one that I predicted. It is by... Maybe Night Bloom is one word. It's about cousins. Yes. Night Bloom by... I didn't get to write down the whole name. Peace Adzomedi. This is the only one I predicted. It came out on the 6th of July last year. Estranged cousins. Oh, me and my cousin aren't estranged. Selassie and Akorfa must reckon with the secrets of their past in this luminous novel of female friendship, regret and betrayal. A stunning novel about childhood friendship rocked by hidden secrets from a star of Ghanaian writing. Growing up in the same Ghanaian town, Selassie and Akorfa are more than just cousins, they're best friends. The girls share everything, whispered late-night conversations, dreams for the future, secrets. But as they enter their teens, Selassie begins to change, building a wall around herself designed to keep everyone away. Soon, Akorfa no longer recognises her sullen, withdrawn cousin. It will take many years for their paths to cross again. Their lives may have drifted in different directions, but Selassie and Akorfa haven't forgotten the closeness they once shared. Akorfa now works in international development as she navigates the challenges of life as a black woman and mother in the US. Selassie is a successful restaurateur running the hottest spot in Accra. And when an incident in her restaurant puts Selassie in danger, the women must overcome their differences and face the truth of what happened all those years ago, even if others would prefer them to remain silent. Night Bloom is an irresistible story about female friendship, about the relationships that shape us and the people we never quite leave behind. And that's by published by One World Publications, and it has 352 pages. I am excited about that. I've just realised I haven't been looking at any of my comments. So let me just see if I can get Night Bloom. Oh, it's at the library. Yes, 1 copy. She's putting a reservation on it. Where is she in the first in line? Lovely. Right, let's have a look at some of the comments. Please tell me there is something more cheerful, as I lost my car yesterday and need cheering up. Oh, your cat. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Emma. Beth said, I've read A Mind Spread Out on the Ground and really liked it, so I'll definitely look a new one up. Great. Hopefully I'll have better luck at my libraries than you. Yeah. Seuss Prime says, okay, I just bought The Blue Beautiful World by Karen Lord. Brilliant. Chris says, I've read Hangman. It was fine, although a bit repetitive. Rated 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. Jennifer says, circuitous. Thank you, Jennifer, for the phonetics. Appreciate it. Natasha said Fun Home was tragicomic, wasn't it? Yeah, and I didn't really like that either, Natasha. Annika says, I'm 18th in the queue on Libby for Night Bloom. Oh, well, like I said, you might get it for next year's long list. What's the TM? It says result, congratulations. Thank you. Right, okay, so Night Bloom, reservation on that one as well. We've got 3 more to do, guys. I haven't got reservations on any of these. Right, the next one is Enter Ghost, which, again, I think Anna or Eric predicted. This came out on the 6th of April last year, so it must be out in paperback at some point. You can pre-order the paperback. The paperback is out the 14th of March in 10 mid and 9 mere days. Here we go. So the author of the best-selling The Parisian delivers a moving, thought-provoking story about family, resistance and reconciliation as a London actress returns to her native Palestine to visit her sister and join a production of Hamlet in the West Bank. I thought it had something to do with Hamlet because of Enter Ghost. This is the Granta Best of Young British Novelists 2023. An astonishingly moving novel about the connection to be found in family, art and shared resistance. After years away from her family's homeland and reeling from a disastrous love affair, actor Sonia Nasir returns to Haifa to visit her older sister, Haneen. While Haneen made her life here commuting to Tel Aviv to teach at the university, Sonia remained in London to focus on her acting career and now dissolute marriage. On her return, she finds a relationship to Palestine is fragile, both bone deep and new. When Sonia meets the charismatic and candid Mariam, a local director, she joins a production of Hamlet in the West Bank. Soon, Sonia is rehearsing Gertrude's line in classical Arabic with a dedicated group of men who, in spite of competing egos and priorities, all want to bring Shakespeare to that side of the wall. As opening night draws closer and the warring intensifies, it becomes clear just how many obstacles stand before the troupe. Amidst it all, the life Sonia once knew starts to give way to daunting, exhilarating possibility of finding a new self in her ancestral home. Timely, thoughtful and passionate, Isabella Hamad's highly anticipated second novel is an exquisite story of the connection to be found in family and shared resistance. And that's published by Vintage and is 336 pages long. Enter Ghost, can I have it at my library? Oh my God, I think they've got it in large print, which is just an absolute treat for me. Yes! They've got it in large print. Delighted about that. First in line, lovely, lovely. Right, has anyone read Enter Ghost? Lee says Enter Ghost was on my wish list for the long list. It's the one I'm most interested in. Brilliant news. Jennifer says Enter Ghost was the only one I predicted. I can't wait to read it. So happy it's made the long list. Tickly. The last 2, neither of which I'd heard of. So this one is called 8 Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster. Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster by Miraney Lee. Have I got that right? Oh no, Miraney, sorry. Miraney Lee. Published in May last year, 304 pages. A breathtaking tribute to the act of storytelling itself, Lee's playful and audacious debut spins a variety of tall tales from the enigmatic resident of the Golden Sunset Retirement Home. Slave, escape artist, murderer, terrorist, spy, lover, mother, trickster. At the Golden Sunset Retirement Home, it's not unusual for residents to invent stories, so when elderly Miss Mook begins to unspool her memories, the obituarist listening to her is sceptical. Stories of captivity, friendship, murder, adventure, assumed identities and spying. Stories that take place in World War II Indonesia, in Busan during the Korean War, in Cold War Pyongyang in China. The stories are so colourful and various, at times so unbelievable, that they cannot surely all belong to the same woman, can they? As playful and thought-provoking as it is compelling, as brutal and harrowing as it is achingly poignant and tender, this is a novel about love and war, deceit and betrayal, about identity, storytelling and the trickery required for survival. Published by the Little Brown Book Group. Let's have a look. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. I mean, something in a retirement home I'm up for. Right, not in that library. Let's have a look. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. They've got it in that library. There we go. 3 copies, 1 reservation. Pop that on. She's racking up the £1, you know. And then the last one is called Brotherless Night. Oh, I'm second in line for the 8 Lives of a Century-Year-Old Trickster. Brotherless Night. Let's have a look. Okay, so the paperback you can pre-order. The paperback is out the 25th of next month. So Brotherless Night by V.V. Ganeshanathan. V.V. Ganeshanathan. This was published on the 29th of June last year, 368 pages. Set during the Sri Lankan Civil War in the 1980s, Ganeshanathan's spellbinding coming of age follows 16-year-old Sashi as her dreams of becoming a doctor are brutally subsumed in the bloody conflict. 16-year-old Sashi wants to become a doctor, but over the next decade, as a vicious civil war tears through her hometown of Jaffna, her dream takes on her a different path as she sees those around her, including her 4 beloved brothers and their friends, get swept up in violent political ideologies and their consequences. Desperate to act, she must ask herself, is it possible for anyone to move through life without doing harm? Published by Penguin. I feel like that's the only one published by Penguin on there. Right, let's have a look. I work with 2 Sri Lankan doctors, so not available at my first library, guys, but let's have a look and see if it's available at my next library. Brotherless Night, yeah, it is. Oh. 1 copy. Has it got any reservations on? Right, okay, so I've put reservations on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or I had reservations on 2. Right, I'm first in line. So let's have a look at the old, what the dashboard's looking like. I owe them £7. Right, reservations not available. Let's have a look. Oh, the only other thing I need to look at is I've got 3 waiting for pickup. I don't suppose any of them, no, none of them were. Right, so the ones I've put reservations on, let's see where I am in line. A Trace of Sun, I'm 1 of 2. The Blue Beautiful World, I'm 3 of 3. The Wren, I'm 3 of 4. Hangman, I'm 3 of 3. Soldier Sailor, I'm 3 of 3. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, I'm 2 of 2. And Brotherless Night, I'm 1 of 1. That's at one library. And then the other library, let's see what's going to be coming in. Restless Dolly Maunder, I'm 1 of 1. Oh, I'm 1 of 1. I'm first for all of these. The Maiden, I'm first. Night Bloom, I'm first. And Enter Ghost, I'm first. So the only ones I haven't been able to put reservations on, and I've got to look at my library apps. I've got to look at my audio library apps to see if I can get any of them, are River East, River West by Aubrey. The Blue Beautiful World, I've put a reservation on that. Did I? I'm sure I did. Did I? Yeah, didn't count that one. In Defence of the Act by Effie Black, and Then She Fell by Alicia Elliott, and that's it. So there's 3 I wasn't able to get, so I will need to see if I can get those on audio. And yeah, so I'm not able to start any of them. God, the timing, we've done this amazingly. We've done this in 50 minutes, so well done, everybody. Thanks, happy reading, enjoyed. Natasha's put on 3 reservations. Emma says that's not bad for reservations. Which one is the most positive? I couldn't tell you, Emma. I mean, we've read the blurbs together, so whichever one. There seems to be a lot of themes of sort of grief and motherhood. 2 mentions of suicide in there. So yeah, I don't know where to go. I mean, The Maiden. If I had all of them here now, what would I start with? Night Bloom, probably. I'm quite excited about Night Bloom. That's the one I feel excited about. Also The Maiden I feel excited about. Restless Dolly Maunder, I feel excited about that. And The Blue Beautiful World, just because I haven't heard of anything like that on the list before. And I've got to be honest, Western Lane, that has captured my interest. So yeah, there we go. Right, where are people going first then? If you had them all here with you, what one would you pick up first? Or if you've got any, what one are you going to pick up first? Emily says, I'm assuming our Patreon book poll will be between the books you get in first. Yeah, so there's going to be, so if you're part of the Patreon book club, in April, we're going to be reading one of the books from the long list. So I'll put up 2 for votes. But yeah, I guess it will come to ones I can get that are easily accessible, maybe ones that are out. I think all of them are out. Jennifer says thanks. Jo says this was exciting, thank you. And Annika says good point, Emily. Yeah, so I guess we'll be looking at those. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to be reading. Great live chat. Oh, you're all so kind. Thanks for joining me. It was very exciting. I've been excited about it all day. Can't believe, I mean, I got one, so I've got to be pleased that I got one. But yeah, and to have like a whole list of books that I haven't read one of. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to work out Women's Prize. I wanted to see what the dates were for it. Women's Prize for Fiction. So the shortlist is on the 24th of April, but I mean, that's like 6 weeks. That's never going to happen. So the 13th of June, if I look at the 13th of June, as we want to have them all read by the 13th of June, but we'll have another little look at it when we get to the 24th of April, because that's when the shortlist is done. So how many days? Alexa, how many days away is the 13th of June?
Thursday, the 13th of June 2024 is in 100 days.
Oh, 100 days. Alexa, what's 16 divided by 100?
16 divided by 100 is 0.16.
That's not what I mean. Alexa, what's 100 divided by 16?
100 divided by 16 is 6.25.
So every 6 days, I've got to be finishing one of these, and I have none of them in my possession. So we're going to be doing 6, and that's to get one done. But like I said, so I would like to be able to do that. If I had one here, I'd be feeling super confident about it, but it's just getting me mitts on some of them straight away. But yeah, I think I'm hoping to read all of them. We'll see how we go. Let's have a look. The Blue Beautiful World will be my first one. Thanks for this evening. Enter Ghost will pick up first. Emma says I've put in a few reservations. Looking forward to Enter Ghost and the Maiden. Kate says, exciting times. Thank you, Lauren. That was fun. Emily says, now I'm looking forward to the Carol Shields Prize on Friday. It's a North American Women's Prize, and this year it's only its second year. Lovely. Dan says, book maths is the only kind of maths I like. Chantel says, so glad I was able to get Night Bloom. Looking forward to it. Oh, I hope you enjoy it, Chantel. So yeah, my plans are, whatever comes in at the library first, I will start on. I imagine it will be one of the ones that has only that I'm first in the queue for, which are Restless Dolly Maunder, The Maiden, and Night Bloom, which coincidentally are the 3 I'm most excited about, and Enter Ghost, which I'm also quite excited about. So yeah, so it will probably be one of those first. I'm going to have a look at my apps for the ones that I wasn't able to get hands on, and yeah, in order, if you wanted to join in, if you were planning on reading the whole long list, you have to read a book every 6 days between now and the 13th of June. So I do plan to do that, but we'll have another little look at it when the shortlist gets announced. Now, I must go and rest my voice for 15 minutes before I go and record the next episode of All About the Archers. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you've watched this the whole way through at a later date, congrats. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for another BookTube video. There's a reading vlog going up, Friday reading vlog. So yeah, enjoy, guys. Bye!